once a team gets done, they're going twice as fast, then good teams always want to know what's the next step. We're not in a hyper-productive state yet. That's at least 4 or 5 times as fast. The thing to focus on then is getting the backlog really ready at the beginning of the sprint. It's ready. It's not just a good list that has certain characteristics. The first characteristic that's really important is that it needs to be immediately actionable by the team. They need to know what to do, and they need to be able to do something now. The second thing is that the product backlog in Scrum and all the Agile practices really is designed to be a negotiation between the product owner and the team. They want to talk about it. Maybe they'll do it differently after their discussion. It might take less time that way and so forth. So it needs to be something that's been talked through by the team and the product owner before sprint planning. The third thing that needs to happen is it needs to have value. And it's very interesting. At OpenView Venture Partners, they discovered that some things in the backlog that we're doing were not value. I would tell them to take it out. They couldn't explain the value. And they would go back to the customer, the end user, and they found that about a third of everything in their backlog had no value to the end user when they actually went and asked them. And they call these junk stories. Well, if OpenView Venture Partners had a third junk stories, they are very aggressive with their backlog and very disciplined. That means the average company, more than a third of what they're building is junk. And they really need to stop doing that. The average percentage of features worldwide that's never or rarely used in software they built is 65%. So there's a huge amount of waste in the system that needs to be pulled out. So that value question raises that issue. The next thing to be ready means that it needs to be estimable. The team needs to be able to estimate that clearly and size it properly. And then there needs to be acceptance tests to tell whether it's done. So it needs to be testable. And the final thing is that it needs to be sized properly for the team. If a team takes something that's too big a chunk, it's like, how big an animal can a snake digest? If you feed them a pig, it goes very slow when the boa constrictor tries to digest the pig. But if you give them small pieces, it goes very fast. So those pieces need to be sized properly to go as quickly through the system. So all of these things are what make backlog ready.